All right, let me get to some of these questions from Twitter because some of them were actually pretty good. And I didn't even know if anybody would respond because everybody seems Twitter's not what it used to be. Now it's everybody's on Instagram or TikTok. But let's see, there was actually some good ones. There we go. One guy said, "How do you make $1 million?" I don't know. There's a lot of ways to make it. Porn, that's one way to make it. I'm not saying you got to do that, but porn is one way you could do it. Favorite restaurants on the road that I always swing through. Man, there's so many goddamn good restaurants out there. I think a lot of my go-to is like True Foods. It's always good in every city. I usually be looking for steakhouses. God, there's so many good steakhouses. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But that's when I said I knew I was getting older, too, because I used to go to cities and look for bars and nightclubs, and now I'm looking for coffee shops. So now I know I'm officially getting older. Why aren't new Get Some episodes on Apple Podcast? Why aren't we? I thought we were. We got to check into that. And keep in mind, I'm just reading these in real time because some of them just came through. Not a real question, but a few weeks ago you said you were going to go to give us a Dallas story. Unless I missed it, I don't think you did. I look forward to you sharing memories about your brother. I did share a story, but I shared a story with Dallas, and then I forgot the next week. So then the week after that episode is when I shared a story about my brother Dallas. And I'm trying to think, is there another funny story about him? Okay. Yeah, here's a funny story when he was a kid. So when me and my brother Dallas, there's an 8-year difference. I was 8 years older than him. And when he was probably 5, so I was 13, we used to go to this lake called Barkay Lake in the middle of Podunk, Indiana. And a lot of my family, literally you pull in, and I thought Barkay Lake was like Yellowstone. I thought it was the greatest place on earth. They had a lake. You can go swimming right in a lake. There was a diving board. There was a slide. You just slide right into the lake. And we had these little trailers, and all of them were little rundown, not like trailers you live in a trailer park, but little rundown like camper trailers. So my grandma and grandpa had one. My Aunt Rita and Uncle Bill had one. Then my Uncle Billy and his wife Donna had one. So there was 3 of them right there, and that was if one of us wasn't using it and somebody wanted to come in, we could stay there and sleep in it and stuff. There's not a shower in these things. There might be running water, but not really. You had to go to the camp shower grounds, right? Those are so nasty because there would be daddy long legs and spiders in those showers. And we didn't wear shower shoes. No. I didn't know about shower shoes until I joined the Navy. I didn't know anything about shower shoes until I started hanging out with black people. I thought white people, baby, we raw dog it in the shower. We don't use washcloths. I never used a washcloth until I got in the military. I remember when they gave me the towels. I said, "What's this for?" And they was like, "That's what you wash your face." I go wash my face with my hands. That could be why I got this scar. I don't know. Maybe I had a dirty face in the sun. Because that's funny when first time my doctor asked me about the skin cancer stuff, he said, "Yo, you use sunscreen growing up?" I said, "I grew up in a trailer park. You know, sunscreen. Went outside and played. Am I putting on sunscreen?" We didn't know what banana boat or Tropicana was. So these showers were so disgusting looking back on it, and we had no problem jumping in there. I remember there were so many daddy long legs. Daddy long legs are like special needs spiders. I don't know how. They got no face. They got no mouth. It's just these long legs, and it's just like a little ball in the middle, little brown ball. And I'm like, how do they eat? How do they survive? So anyways, maybe I got to look that up. So we had this little bonfire. So our trailer said he had little campers. I don't want to say trailer, campers. And we had a little bonfire we'd set. And we'd always go fishing. And everybody caught carp and bluegill. Carp's like the nastiest fish out there. So we never ate it. We just caught it and then threw it back. So we were sitting around the bonfire one night. And keep in mind, the adult men are drinking. And all the teenage boys, like, we might sneak a beer in because they're not looking. Like, oh, my God, we got a beer. And we go behind one of the campers, drink a beer. But the drink of choice with the adults was Schaefer beer and Jack Daniel's whiskey. That was it. So my Uncle Bill had a 5th of Jack Daniels. Keep in mind, where this lake was, there's nowhere to go to get food. We would bring our food, and we basically lived off peanut butter and jelly, Doritos, Mountain Dew, and I think one of the campers had a little fridge, but pretty much everything stayed in the cooler because usually we're only there for 2 or 3 days. And so you can't just go get liquor like that. You can get beer, but you can't just go find liquor. So I guess nobody realized Dallas at 5 years old was going behind people and just drinking the different drinks, right? So he probably took a swig of a beer nobody knew, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, water, things like that. Nobody realized he got to my Uncle Bill's 5th of Jack Daniels, and he took a swig and went, ah! And he threw it on the ground, and when he threw it on the ground, it hit a rock and just went everywhere. And I just remember I looked, and my Uncle Bill, I think I saw a tear come down. Almost like Denzel Washington in Glory. It was just a single tear like, he broke my 5th. You couldn't know but laugh because he didn't know, and I was like, and all of a sudden I realized how much liquor did Dallas drink before he got to the 5th of Jack? Because I'm looking at the circle, and there's a lot of Schaefer beer sitting around. So broke the bottle, so Uncle Bill had to drink beer the rest of the weekend because there was no more whiskey left to drink. I don't know if he went and got some, but you had to literally go about 30 minutes to find any kind of like Kroger or grocery store to get some liquor. So that's a Dallas story when he was 5. Broke my Uncle Bill's 5th of Jack after he was probably already tanked up from drinking everybody's beer before he got there. So, yeah, hope that was a funny Dallas story. What kind of music did you listen to growing up? Country, hair bands, or R&B? Come on now. I'm an 80s, 90s guy, so Journey. Man, you can't go wrong with Journey. Faithfully still one of the best. Trying to think. Well, when I was in high school, everybody was listening to the hair bands, Bon Jovi, Warrant. Those rock love ballads, man. I used to really think I was a virgin, so I ain't really had no puss yet. So I remember thinking, yeah, this is what it's all about. If I could meet somebody like I always thought like White Snake. I want to meet some chick, and she's gonna dance on top of a car, and she's gonna fall in love with me, and that'll be it. And I live in North Carolina near the beach. For some reason, I always thought. But the girl would be black on top of the car. Wouldn't be a white girl. So I would say that. A lot of my friends, like I was in FFA, Future Farmers of America. So a lot of my friends would listen to all the country songs. And it's like I knew the songs, but I didn't know who sang them. And then as far as like hip hop and rap, man, that was Run DMC days. Troop, Silk and Shy. Oh my gosh, you're taking me back. So yeah, that's probably what I listen to. When are the new specials coming out? Any new merch coming out? Yeah. In fact, new merch is dropping this week. If you go to GaryOwen.live, which is my website, we got Get Some podcast shirts that are dropping this week. So I'll be selling them at my shows these next 2 weeks in Houston because I always sell T-shirts at my shows. But like I said, I got 2 specials in the can, and we're still trying to sell them. I got the one that we're going to call it Broken Family, and then the second one is yet to be titled. But I got 2 we're shopping right now. So maybe one of these days Netflix will come around, but I'm not going to be this bitter guy because I really think every comedian thinks we should have a next Netflix special that doesn't. And really, when I watch these podcasts, and there's so many podcasts with comedians out there, and I'll see some comedians go on, and they sound like they're bitching. I saw one comedian, she had said like she started crying, and she's like, "Why haven't I gotten my shot yet? I just want my one shot." And then another comedian I saw on a podcast, he was saying like they use the same people over and over again in all these movies and TV shows and stuff. And I think for me, once I let that go, trying to get other people's approval, trying to get on other people's shows, I said, you know what? I'm just going to make my own content. And that's one reason I do the podcast. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. It's the one reason I do my own specials. Of course, I'm shopping on the networks. Worst case scenario is nobody wants it, and I just take the clips, cut it up, and I post the whole thing on YouTube myself or anywhere else that I can. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. As you can see, You don't need the networks anymore to blow up, a la Matt Rife, a la Desi Banks, a la Drewski. You can do your own stuff. So I think the best thing about podcasts and interviews now, when I see comedians go on and they still seem like they're a little bitter, I'm like, I don't want to sound like that. And I'm thoroughly enjoying this stage of my career where I don't have to sit around and be frustrated. I can pull out my phone. I can record something. Like I just posted a clip this week of me in Raleigh where a girl got mad because I wasn't telling old jokes. And I was like, I'm so glad a lot of these clubs now are coming equipped with camera systems because I didn't hire anybody to film me the week I was in Raleigh. But the club goes, no, we got our own camera system here. I was like, no way. So I was like, So I got it and posted it. So we're in a great stage. So I would just say to these comics, man, be mindful of how you sound when you go on these podcasts and you're like, why haven't I got a Netflix special? And I was like that for a long time, but now I'm like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank Redemption when he kept going out for parole. And when he really wanted to get out, they kept denying him. And then when he finally went, you go ahead and write what you're going to write because, frankly, I don't give a damn. That's where I'm at right now. If I get a Netflix special, great. But if not, I don't really need them like that. I'm good. Either way, I can just put my own shit out there. So thank you, TikTok. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, YouTube. You have completely given comedians especially an outlet to get our material out there, to get our thoughts out there and everything else. You don't need anybody. So somebody said, when are you coming to Oklahoma City? This summer, I am coming to Oklahoma City. So just go to GaryOwen.live for all my tour dates. That's all you got to do. How was the show in Wichita? It was great. Did you move about the city? I did not. I went to my hotel, to the venue, and that was it. I Uber Eats. So listen, my hotel was great, and I got coffee from Scooter's Coffee. It was a great coffee spot. That's pretty much all I got to say about Wichita. And the catering was good at the show. Oh, here comes some bitch. Why are the Browns so much better than the Bengals? They ain't. They ain't better than us. What you talking about right now? I see what's going on here. Let me shout this guy out. At Ray Skikle, at RAYSKIKLE, Ray Skikle. Yeah, I can't even say your name. What you talking about? The Browns ain't better than the Bengals. You better shut your mouth, fool. How many times a week are you referred to as Gary Owens with an S? Every day, every show, every time. I said, if you want to know what black people's favorite letter is, it's S. It is S. There's 26 letters in the alphabet, and black people love the letter S because they love making things plural, especially me. I mean, ask black people. I guarantee you black people go to restaurants and they'll be like, hey, you got some shrimps? Sure could use some shrimps tonight. It's shrimp. Hey, let's go to Kroger's. It's Kroger. What's up, Gary Owens? I'm a big fan. It's Owen. Stop. So, yeah, all the time. God, this guy had like a 4-part question. Is the earth flat or a globe? Come on now. It's a globe. Favorite concert? Bernie Mac, favorite stand-up concert of all time. It was the first time I ever seen a comedian at a theater destroy for an hour and a half straight. He had dancers. Yvette Wilson opened up. Such a good show. It was at the Universal Amphitheater. That was the first time I ever went to a big comedy show. And I was just starting out as a comedian, and I was in awe. So that'll always be my favorite concert of all time. Musically, favorite concert music was, I would say, Charlie Wilson. If you've never seen Charlie Wilson in concert, he can go, bro. I saw Charlie Wilson in Cincinnati. They do this Macy's Music Fest one time. And this is not a knock to John Legend. I love John Legend. He's always real cordial, Ohio guy. But Charlie Wilson went up before John Legend one night. And I think they should have flipped it. And Charlie went up there. And, he's high energy. He's all over the place. He's got his dancers. Then he basically realized, he's like, he takes everybody to church. He closes the show. I was a crackhead. I've been delivered. Da-da-da-da-da. And every time he's saying something, the band's playing something like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I was 5'11", now I'm 6'1". I was on my deathbed, now I'm alive. I didn't know Jesus, now I know Jesus. And every time, and it's just building. And then he goes, "Get out your Uncle Charlie." And the crowd is in hysterics. And then they brought up John Legend. And it's not like this show is already 4 hours in by the time John Legend goes up. You know, John just walks out, gets on the piano, and we're just ordinary people. And it just went whoosh. And he went down because John just doesn't perform like Charlie. He's into the music. Man, I felt so bad for John Legend that night. Ooh. They should have flipped it. No matter whose hometown it was, because John was Springfield, he was close to Cincinnati. They should have just flipped it that night. To have a concert that long and for Charlie to just, boom, this is probably, 13 years ago. God, my eyes bother me right now. I would have flipped that order. I would have just flipped it. But, yeah, John caught a brick that night. He caught a brick that night. But obviously didn't affect his career that much. Favorite dinner? Best childhood memory? My favorite dinner is always probably you get a good steak, bro. A good steak off the grill. And soak it in Worcestershire sauce overnight. Yeah, that's probably my favorite dinner. Like, even my favorite restaurant in the country is probably Peter Luger's in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know what they do to that steak. It's so goddamn good. And best childhood memory, God, that's hard to say. Leaving? Probably when I left when I was 17. That's probably the best childhood memory. Because I remember it was freedom. After that was freedom.